Top Gear, where we start on a serious note because we need to talk about Freddie Flintoff and his problem.
Standing right here, Paddy. Right here.
That's right, Fred's not been at Top Gear long, but already we've noticed an issue. He appears to have no sense of fear.
Literally nothing. The man's a medical freak.
Still here, lad, still here.
So, to test if Freddie had any function left in the old self-preservation gland, the producers signed him up for one of the maddest events of them all.
And they told me to go along as his mentor. Did you really say gland?
I did.
I did.
Iceland. A land of fire and ice. A brutal, wild landscape that's home to the most brutal, wild race series of them all.
So you're going to tell me why we're here?
You're taking part in Formula Off-Road. It calls itself the most outrageous form of motorsport on the planet.
I've done extreme stuff before, Chris. You know, I've rode a bull in a rodeo in Texas. I've done cliff diving in Acapulco, drag racing, NASCAR, professionally boxed. I've sung in a musical.
You've sung in it. That
I tell you, that is terrifying.
I know you've got this reputation as being a bit dangerous and that you're the man that's fearless and all that. This here is the most extreme stuff out there.
Formula Off-Road is a law unto itself. An automotive torture chamber of near vertical cliffs and punishing off-road sprints, where just finishing the right way up is considered a bonus. Before sending Flintoff into the fray then, first he needs some wheels. And these were the ones he'd been given. A custom-built chassis mated to a 5.7-litre nitrous-injected V8, producing 600 horsepower. But in a motorsport where cars can run to 1,000 more than that, Flintoff's car was actually beginner's spec.
Is this like the equivalent of 10-pin bowling with the rails on?
You don't need all that power.
Part of me wants to style it out and say I'm so disappointed that I've not got 1,600 horsepower.
I had to sit in the passenger seat. Although for the moment, Fred, I might sit down on the sidelines and just coach you by proxy. How's that?
You're not coming in?
No, you're on your own. Right, let's get you hooked up. What's he doing?
Mind us the real car.
I don't know, he looks like he's about to drive over you. Hello, thank you. We didn't want one of you missing out on the fun today, so Chris, we found you a car too. You're both competing. Were you in on this?
Come on, Chris, go get your car.
Look at it. Oh, man.
You couldn't be left out.
Apparently not. And because I was considered an experienced racer, not only was my car bigger, hilariously, it had been tuned up to a much livelier 900 horsepower. And while I was still digesting that bit of good news, next, I had to head straight to the course walk.
You're having a laugh, aren't you?
How does it get up that?
The whole idea of this film was to put you in a car and to watch you roll. Why am I doing this?
Everyone expects off you, Chris. They've seen you on the telly, Top Gear. They just think I'm a local.
Just for the avoidance of doubt, if your car falls off that, that'll hurt.
Well, that's just the price you're paying.
Look, if I'm going to hurt myself, I want it to be at Tamburello or Parabolica in a Formula 1 car.
I don't want to break bad news to you, but you're never going to be a Formula 1 driver. That ship has sailed, Chris. 1, you're not good enough.
Yep.
2, you're too old.
Yep.
3, you're too fat.
Yeah, okay. I can't deny any of that, really. But it's nice to have friends around to support you, isn't it?
So, the competition ahead of us would play out over 6 rounds, working down the valley's rock and gravel walls to finish on the very wet, very muddy Marshland Flats. But what that really meant was first, be straight in at the deep end, starting at the cliffs. It's a long time since I felt my beans going like this. But you know what? The one thing about nerves is, they're only bad because everyone tells you they're bad. They make you feel alive. And with the wait finally over, it was time to give it a go. Do not let me down, son. Come on, Freddy, lad. Now here we go. As soon as you feel the rise, let's go. Right, Freddy.
Jesus, Victor.
First glove, rolled it. Yeah, I'm all good. My leg's still stuck.
I've never been more apprehensive about any motorsport in my life. I don't want to be doing this, really.
Jeez. Was a nice try. Yeah, I had a go. Just went. Yeah. I tell you what, Chris. Just got real, this, didn't it?
What happened?
I just thought I'd floor it and see what happened.
Did you have any idea what you were doing?
Just got no control.
Well, mate, you're filling me with confidence. No word of a lie. You're the He-Man. Right, if I don't fancy this first stage, I'm stopping.
Whatever you want, man.
Go on.
Be safe, pal.
Go on. Be safe.
While the rest of the field took turns attacking the course, Harris made his way to the start line.
Here we go then.
And soon enough, it was his turn.
I can't believe what it'll go over.
Fair play to Harris. He'd taken round one and made it look easy. You alright? Well done, mate. Happy with that?
No, coming down, I've smashed my back. Really hurt.
Enjoy it, any part of it?
No, I hated every single second of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see any point in this at all.
You cracking on?
Yeah, we're going to carry on. Because, obviously, I've got to beat you.
I don't like your chances. Round two, then. But not only was the climb bigger, this time there was two of them. Yeah, I'm under a bit of pressure on this second one. Come on this time. Oh, go on, Freddy, lad, we've got this. Yeah, I'm having a go. Freddy, lad, get it! Get it, sir!
Is that Fred?
Get to the top! Nobody puts Freddy in a corner! Harris, have a do with that, son.
Bentoffer bounced back with a high-scoring run, putting the pressure squarely on me, Big Red.
Come on!
Oh, Chris! Where's the red one?
I can't even see it.
Oh, he's reversing. Harris looking at me, taking it serious now, isn't he? Look at him.
This is insane. My eyes tell me that's not possible. That is a good thing. That is a good thing.
I've made it round, but not without penalties.
I had to reverse. I couldn't get round.
Which meant after his barnstorming run, Bentoffer climbed to an impressive 9th place.
In front of Chris Harris. He's going to keep concentrating though, just concentrate. The competition kept rolling on.
Jesus!
And with round three, frankly, best forgotten by the both of us. Oh, I'm stalled. Stalled. Come on! He's only got stuck. We took the no-score draw, headed down the valley, and I turned up the mind games. You wouldn't make a good Aussie, would you?
Why?
On the Aussie flag, they got an emu, kangaroo. Do you know why? What? Because they cannot take a backward step. Can't they? Unlike you. Live your life in reverse, you. Seed of doubt planted, the next round was a gravel loop time trial. And I was ready to strike. Come on, Eric. I know there's suspension on it, but you feel every foot. mind your sports cars. Never mind your big four-wheel ballers. This is what it's about. Oh, that was not bad. That was not bad. Now that, ladies and gentlemen, is how it's done. I will take that every day of the week. And as Harris took to the course, I knew I'd got right inside his head. Tell you what, he's slow, isn't it? Come on, Chris! Everyone's going home! He's taking the steady. What's going on with him? That's a bit quicker. Here he comes. In the end, he crossed the line full 7 seconds slower than me. Slightly embarrassing. What happened? Chris, it's your... We'd fought our way to the bottom of the valley, and now 7th in the standings, I had built a massive 90-point lead over Harris. So for the little man, the river crossing round really would be sink or swim.
This is the silliest motorsport event in the world.
That's why we're here.
What the hell is he doing? He lost the wheel. This was supposed to be your challenge. You were hired on this show to be the psycho, crazy, I'll do anything guy. That's not my role. I'm supposed to bring it back to the cars.
You know when you get nervous, you talk a lot, don't you? Leaving Harris to ponder that, I lined up for my run across the river. But with the rest of the field now playing mind games of their own,
Ready, this is how it starts.
I'd just been told that my beginner's car had never actually made it across the river before. Blowing out. And to be honest, I wasn't feeling that confident. I love puddles, but this is a lake. Oh, he's flagged down. It's flooded, and the water is freezing. Oh.
Turns out, Flintoff can't walk on water after all.
Oh, it was going so well.
With his big lead suddenly looking shaky. If I could just teach Big Red to swim, we'd be in with a shot. Nothing here to lose. I managed to clear the short splash that had drowned Flintoff's car, but to finish the round, next we'd need to conquer a nigh on impossible 160-metre stretch.
Just for it.
Yes, Big Red had done me proud.
First of all, can we admire the pressure the water's done to
I'm
mine?
going to take my hat off to you, Chris. I stood on the bank and watched you come in, and
I was committed, mate. I gave
as
it
much as
everything.
it pains me to say, it was very impressive.
It was committed.
And the crowd were cheering. It was a lovely thing.
It really was. Especially because I had now climbed to 8th place, a bone dry 30 points ahead of Flintoff. The swamp.
Yeah. I don't want to put the pressure on you, but I reckon your favourite going into this.
You think I'm the favourite?
But you got more power, it's a swamp. I couldn't get through a little river in this.
Enough mind games. As the leader, I would be up first, with a sprint across an ancient Icelandic bog to finish the competition.
Got a funny feeling these overalls might need to go into the wash after this.
He's having a real go. He's only got stuck. Nah, turn it off, Chris.
That's embarrassing.
He is covered in absolute Look at him. Look at the space of him. All you think is I can laugh now, but that's going to be me in a matter of minutes.
Wow, smells quite pooey.
If he's getting stuck with all that power, I'm not sure how I'm going to go here. The rest of the field certainly weren't finding it easy.
Good lad. No! Go on! No! You poor sod!
And as I took to the start line, one thing was clear. Iceland's Formula Off-Road had saved its most technical test to last.
Here we go, time to shine, Freddie boy! This is it! Just gotta get round. If I get round, I beat him.
Right, Flintoff, here we go.
I'm off.
He's got to where I got to. No, he's still going. Oh, that's going nowhere now.
Ready, Flintoff. Son.
I'm stuck, officially stuck. I'd given it my all. I'm out. But would it be enough to beat Harris?
I think he might have me there. That's so close. But how close is that?
This is going to be tight. Someone's going to have to come and get me. I just left it in that mud. Oh, come on, how did we get on?
According to the official scoring,
Yeah.
there was 1 point in it.
Shut up!
There was 1 point in it. Freddie Flintoff, 1,050 points. C. Harris, 1,051. 7th overall, 6th overall. This is a national championship.
We are the 6th and 7th best. Iceland. Get in.
Now, let's go and have a tetanus jab and a shower. No, don't do that.
I'm so
And I'm,
tempted.
I'm going nowhere near that, Fred.
I've got to say, respect, because that looked brutal. And Iceland, no ice, just mud everywhere. Savage.
It was horrendous. It was like being beaten up for 5 rounds by a heavyweight boxer, and just as you get your breath back again, someone pours a bucket of poo on your head. That's what it was like. It was horrendous. And that wasn't mud. It smelled a lot more organic than mud.
that, wasn't it?
And you were just 2 metres from beating him. 2 metres. That's 2 Chris Harrises.
But this, I got a problem with this because
Oh, they got it in the end. They got it. It took a
Took
while.
you a minute.
the thing about it was, if they'd have given me a proper car like his, I'd have
Oh
won.
my God.
Yeah.
He was like this as a professional sportsman, always blaming his tools. Look, you had the agile car for the agile round, you got the points there, you didn't make it stick when it counted. You lost, fair and square.
No, if I had a proper car, I'd have won. And not just beating you, young man. I'd have won the tournament.
No, we've given
I'd
you
have come home with silverware.
we've given you proper cars at other points in this series and you've crashed them, so you lost.
But we did 6th and 7th best in Iceland. Right? Granted.
The biggest winner here is me, because I didn't have to do it. Yes. While these two were off mud wrestling in Iceland, I was having a lovely time in Wales, on my own, just me and my dream car. The Toyota Supra. Specifically, the A80 Toyota Supra of 1993. The original giant slaying sports car. And the very top of my bucket list. You absolute beauty. I was 19 when these came out, and growing up in Bolton, you'd never see a Ferrari or a Lamborghini or a 911 driving around, but every now and again, you'd see one of these. And God, I wanted one. I never got to drive what I'm gonna do. This massive deal for me. Here we go. Come on. Forgive me for a moment. I'm just taking this in the power. What? Oh. When this car launched in Britain, it cost £37,000. Its twin-turbo straight-six engine gave the Supra 325 brake horsepower. 0 to 60 in just under 5 seconds. 0 to 60 in just under 5 seconds in the 90s. This was a proper supercar killer. In fact, car magazines of the day pitched the Supra against some of the biggest players in the game. Players like the Porsche 911 Turbo, the Aston Martin DB7, even the Ferrari 512 Testarossa. I have literally just overtaken my teenage bedroom wall. Amazing. These were cars that cost 3, 4, even 5 times more than the Supra. But it kept pace with a lot of them. And then some. Supercar scoring performance as standard was just the start. Oh! Because the Supra was also very easy to make, very much faster. Listen to them pop and hiss! I've kind of gone to Japanese sports car heaven! This was the car that kick-started Generation Fast and Furious. With a little bit of know-how, you can boost these cars to up to 800 brake horsepower or even more than that, and they never blow up. Mostly. But me, I'll take my Supra as nature intended. Completely stock and utterly captivating. I absolutely love this car. And the sad thing is, in the UK, Toyota pulled the plug, and the best Japanese sports car of the lot was done. Now, more than a quarter of a century later, the Japanese icon is back. Yes, this is the new Supra. A 2-seat, rear-wheel drive, £50,000 sports car that picks up right where we left off. Just like the old Supra, it's got a 3-litre straight-six turbocharged engine, nudging over 300 brake horsepower. And just like the old Supra, it'll do 0 to 60 in about 4 and a bit seconds. And it'll hit the limiter at 155. And yes, Toyota only making the new Supra about as quick as the old one might sound a bit lazy. Do you know what? I think it's the right call. I mean, it's not going to show a new Ferrari or a 911 a clean pair of wheels, but 300 horsepower in the 90s was plenty. And the roads haven't changed much since then. So 300 horsepower now is still plenty. Oh, come on! Oh. Hard on the brake, dropping down a gear. So agile, so quick, so responsive. Oh. This is so much fun. But before you run out the door with your checkbook, there is, potentially, a bit of a problem with the new Supra. And it's called the BMW Z4. Yep, Japan's most iconic sports car has been properly Germaned up. They've got the same engine, same gearbox, most of the suspension, pretty much all the same dash. And do you know what? I'm totally fine with that. If you're going to borrow something, borrow it off the best. You're not going to get them mixed up. The Supra only comes as a coupe, the Z4 only comes as a convertible. That's Japanese and stylish, that is not. In the end, it's just economics. If they hadn't teamed up, Toyota couldn't have made the new Supra, and BMW couldn't have made the new Z4. And a world with... This is a good car, this. It might not be as groundbreaking as the old Supra, but it's still a little barrel-chested bulldog of a sports car. And that'll do for me just fine. But I am well aware that won't do for everyone. In fact, only yesterday I received a letter off a brave little lad who wants to know what it's like to skid this car around a track. Well, I'm all about helping out the little uns. Mr. Harris.
Morning, sir.
You getting in?
Step out of that seat and apply yourself to the shotgun position.
Let's go.
Come on. Allow me to escort you out of the vehicle.
You're keen, aren't you?
Of course I am. Get in. Well. Not well.
What's the problem?
The problem is, I'm sitting in a BMW. Have you not noticed? There's nothing about this. It's a Toyota.
You've not even started it
Well,
yet.
because that's a BMW starter button there. BMW gear lever. This is really wrong.
I don't understand what the problem is. If you go to Lidl for your big shop and get home and find they've packed your bags full of Waitrose,
Yeah.
you're going to complain? No. Set off.
It's a BMW steering wheel.
Oh, did I hear you go, cool, then?
Well, look, it goes well. I'm not going to deny that. Let's just take a bit of time.
Knock yourself out.
So let's just start with the basics. The torque of the motor is great. BMW make a really good engine at the moment. Do you know what? From the moment I got in it, it sounded like a BMW. There we go, look at this. BMW actually keep their power steering pumps linear all the way through to full opposite lock like that. And that's why this feels, to me, so flipping BMW there. That is BMW oversteer. That's not Toyota oversteer.
Bothered.
What?
No one's bothered about
I mean,
that.
no one's bothered. It's not a Toyota.
What does a Toyota feel like, Chris?
Well, from the inside, it would have a really crazy interior. You'd have a 2JZ up front making hissing and whooshing noises. It would sound turbocharged. Do you know what, Paddy? It might be a little bit worse as a car, but it would reek of style.
Wowzers.
I just think it's a missed opportunity, you know? It's ridiculous. It's like finding out that Charles Dickens wants to write the best book ever, and he phones up Emily Bronte and says, "Can you do this?" And then just send me the manuscript afterwards.
Yeah,
It's
but
wrong.
Can you imagine Charles Dickens and Emily Bronte writing a book together? It's a bestseller, Chris.
Oh, I don't know. It's perfectly good, but it
But
just...
no buts, no buts. Is it a good sports car?
Yes.
Good. Now, I think there might still be a few milli on the rubber. Knock yourself out, go and do some more skids. Not been sick yet. What are you doing that for now? What are you doing that for now?
What's wrong with you?
You liked it.
What's wrong? It's not a real Supra.
You liked it.
It's perfectly good, but it's not a real Supra.
What do you mean?
It's not a real Supra. I've said it 3 times. Which part of not a real Supra do you not
Well,
understand?
what's not real about it?
Well, it's a BMW.
Lads,
No one cares!
The internet forums are in lights.
just let me clear this up for you. It's easy.
Go on.
If you want to buy a sports car, and it bothers you that the new Supra has a BMW interior, don't buy one. You know, on the flip side, if you like the BMW bits, knock yourself out. Simple.
He's got a point. I'm not taking logic from a man who believes the Earth is flat.
Can I add to that? And we've never been to the moon. You heard it first.
He's dropped the mate.
Never mind that. There's two things I want to know. Is first, Paddy, how close were you to chucking up there?
Well, it was terrible. His aftershave was really bad. He smells like Boots chemist.
It was all right for a little bit. Got a little bit tricky towards the end, but I got through it all.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was all right.
And the other thing is how fast is it on our track? So we sent the stig out earlier today, and you can watch the lap online to see how fast it was. So what are you expecting, Chris?
She's down the bottom. Gotta be.
You reckon?
Yeah. You know, it's not much firepower, not that much grip. It's a bit lazy.
It's you, this car. This car is you. Well, I can tell you, the new Toyota Supra went round our track in 1 minute.
Brilliant.
20.
The suspense.
3.1.
Oh my
Harris,
God.
you're right. It's right down here.
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh. Are you disappointed, Paddy?
I am.
You love this car.
Not a patch on the original.
No.
If you're in the market for a new car, or you just like watching a very small man talk very quickly, here's Chris Harris with some high-speed buying advice.
Right, what cars to buy, what cars not to buy, in a bunch of different categories, all in under 2 minutes-ish. Follow me. Category 1, small convertibles. The Fiat 500C, you think it's a fun little Italian job. Actually, it's a conspiracy by the world's chiropractors to wreck your... Normally hate these, but this latest one is actually really good to drive, and I love that dark burgundy paintwork. The Mini. I would rather appear on a Saturday night dating game show with Paddy McGuinness than see anywhere near that thing. It's disgusting. The Audi TT. Now, I should hate these, but this car's just been discontinued, and I feel slightly sorry for it. So for me, I'm going to take the Audi TT, which is the least bad of a bad bunch. Let's move on. The estate car. I think the new Insignia is quite a good-looking car, but you can't buy a Vauxhall, can you? It's like giving up. The Volvo V90, smashing out of the park at the moment, Volvo. The engines are a bit mean, and it's 40 grand for the cheapest one, but what a great looking car. Skoda Superb, massive, nothing wrong with it. It's just a bit vanilla, isn't it? And then the old Ford Mondeo in that kind of primer grey. I'm going to come back down here, and I'm going to say it's the Volvo all day long, because the Skoda looks like it might be an unmarked police car, and that scares me. Okay, hot hatches, here we go. This is the new i30N from Hyundai. It's a great hot hatch, but it just doesn't do anything to me. And a hot hatch should make you tingle. No tingle there. The Mercedes A35. Hugely expensive, hugely capable, and I hate to say it, hugely dull. The Honda Civic Type R. Look at that. Styled by an 8-year-old, drives brilliantly, but could you do it to yourself? Could you turn up in front of the people you love looking like that? No, you couldn't. And there it is. The shining glory of hot hatches, the Volkswagen Golf GTI. It's like tomato sauce. You try it once, you then go and try all the others, the Hyundai, the Mercedes, the Honda, and you come back to the red sauce that's made by the company I can't mention on the BBC. Lightweight British sports cars. These are great cars. The Morgan 3-wheeler, look at it. One of the rawest driving devices ever, bizarre. It'll get you more looks than a Lamborghini, with that added thrill of knowing that is just round the corner. Then down here, come on, follow me down here, come on. The Lotus Elise, 23 years old, still the definitive lightweight British roadster, and the Ariel Atom. The greatest thing to come out of Somerset since fizzy alcoholic apple juice. Great car, 4-wheel motorcycle, no windscreen, but for me the winner, there it is. I love a Caterham 7. That's the basics of driving in one machine, and I love the green. So there you go. Lightweight sports cars, convertibles, we've got them all. I'm going to go off and do some serious work now.
That was really impressive.
Thank you, Andrew.
Very
so close, Paddy.
So close. What's wrong with dating shows?
Certain dating shows are okay. Some...
Well, we won't get you in the lift. The size of you.
Now it's time to meet our studio. Will.
Oh, yes.
How are you?
Good to see you.
Come here, Will.
Hi, Pub.
Very uncomfortable Chris's with hugs.
Yeah. Go and have practice.
Mr. Half Nelson now.
Well, what we have here is barrier chicken.
Okay, yeah.
We have a lovely Fiat Punto, and we have a barrier. Patrick, demonstrate.
Certainly.
You got
one job. There we go.
That's lovely.
Okay.
Like that?
Well, you have to choose someone to go in the car with, and then the two of you will against the two remaining here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Who are you choosing?
You.
Great choice.
Really?
Yeah, you.
Great choice.
Yeah. It's not personal. Well, I want to be on the winning team.
You two are up first. Stop standing there being cool. You couldn't even work the barrier. Come on.
It's like Thelma and Louise, this.
And they're dying in the end, them two.
Will, you're in charge of this, okay? That will give you the speed. Fastest through the barrier wins. If you don't make it through the barrier, you can't win.
Come on, we can't get beat by Harris.
We're not doing
Are you going to go, lads, or are you just going to have a chinwag down there?
Stretch her up. Men at work.
I like that record.
Got to get to 90.
It's a fine line between bravery and stupidity. And
Here
we're
we go.
walking it. Come on, it's going to go down. We're going to get this.
Thelma and Louise!
Come on.
Hold me on!
Come on.
Thelma and Louise! Thelma and Louise did it!
Didn't happen. Very aggressive driving.
Oh, smooth, Paddy. Smooth.
Thelma Louise.
Come on, what did we get, Chris?
91.
Oh, we'll take that.
We'll have that.
Now, I have to say, boys, that's a great effort, because I didn't even think the Punto was capable of doing 91 miles an hour. You were going so fast you peeled the stickers off the side.
Paddy did the math.
That's how we roll.
We're going to go round that corner there.
Yeah.
We're going to go through the cones. As long as we go through the cones.
cones?
Yeah. Okay, let's go. We're on our way, boys.
Well, then, this is-
around the corner. Where are you going?
Full power now. Everything.
Yeah.
And rev it out to 6. Third.
You better off going straight back, aren't you, than coming round
We're
and
in a
that.
corner, you're going to lose speed.
Keep
Am I
going.
going the right way?
Here you are. Through there. Straight through there. You see the channel.
Yeah. We're going to do
We're
it.
going to hit it. Ah! It's a light touch. I think we're okay.
First bit of bad news is you clipped the barrier.
No, we didn't.
You did. You nipped
Where's the evidence of that?
We'll show it after.
On these
Well.
called cameras, Chris.
So the second bit of bad news,
Come on.
87 miles per hour.
4 miles an hour difference.
It's a win for the working classes. Come on, let's go and eat some pasta.
The Northerners prevailing over
Where's
Bosch.
Nanny?
Let's have a pasta.
Nanny.
Cup of tea. Ladies and gentlemen, Will Young. Oh, Will.
No, I'm still let you down.
I feel like you gloated too much, you two. Gloated too much.
Straight in there.
You started in another county, Will. You took one hell of a run up.
I mean, they're not known for being modest winners, are they? That's
No, basically I hate losing. I absolutely, and I just realised again today that I'm so competitive. Really competitive.
It's terrifying though when you go towards the barrier.
It was so exhilarating, I want to do it again. Immediately. Oh no.
Let's talk about some car history.
Yes.
So, first car was what?
Mini.
Mini?
Yeah, original
Right,
Mini.
Look, no,
All like that.
You
You've got to have a Mini as a first car. That
You
kind of
do,
thing,
yeah.
'cause they're like little go-karts.
It's a joyous little place to begin your life journey.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It's a great car.
Yeah.
But you own some lovely cars, and it's a selection that shows that you do love motor vehicles, and you're definitely a petrolhead, aren't you?
Yes.
But there's one car story in there that stands out, and it surrounds a Porsche 356. I think it's lovely. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, the three. Oh, yeah, that's my baby.
Look at that.
So when I was at school, I had my friend's dad, who's Italian, had one of these cars in white, and it was left-hand drive. And I would see him drive away, and I would say, about 11 years old, one day I would love a car like that. So fast forward, I was going out to buy a Mini actually, and then I saw one of those in black, so that bought it. It was the same car. It was my friend's dad's car, just been
exact car.
resprayed 30 years later.
Didn't it end up getting clamped? And
Yeah, that's how I found out it was his, because I hadn't changed the registration.
And,
Yeah,
and didn't someone else live in it for a bit?
yeah, some tramps lived in it in a car park, and one of them had in a bag, which was really weird.
I actually think that's quite alright. I mean, not done it on
Oh,
the
at least it
car,
wasn't on the-
so a bit of courtesy. Do that in the bag.
Well, I promised myself if I ever saw you, I'd apologise.
I accept your apology.
Thank you, Will.
Was it
Too kind.
You were around 2005, end of the summer. Was it around then?
Nothing like that.
We were both in a bad place.
You also used to own an XR3i.
I still got it.
No!
Yeah, Escort XR3i.
What colour?
Black
Black.
with the red
It's
stripes.
Oh, my
exactly
word.
the same as mine.
Yeah.
Grey cloth seats,
they're
fantastic
great.
car.
Because I'm an 80s boy, so that's what I want. I had Mark 1 Golf GTI, and I saw this Escort on Bay, and I thought I can't have that go to a records yard. So it's now just a wreck in my friend's garage.
Tell us about the new album, Will.
It's called Lexicon. It's sort of electro, mid-tempo electro pop.
Is it 80s inspired?
Well, it is actually.
Yes.
I think it is.
We like that.
Yeah, kind of Pet Shop Boys. I mean,
We want to meet learning colleagues down there. It's cricket.
I hate cricket.
I thought. How do you hate cricket?
You're amazing. I don't hate you, but I.
Thank you.
I'm glad we cleared that.
Well, I'm with you. I also hate cricket.
Yeah, so
But it's different though, you're just too thick for it.
So, what happened to 1-0? He's 70, round the back for 2 googlies and a wicket. What's that?
I've got to tell you, Paddy, there's been times where I've stood there for 5 days and we've drawn at the end, thinking, what was the point in that?
I had to go out there. I went to this horrible school and I had to go out there and I was made to play 1 cricket match a week. And you stand there and someone throws a very hard leather ball at you.
That's the crux of it.
Yeah, but it's like, why would you do that? So I learned from a young age that I could just, if you knock the wicket over, what's that called when you do that?
Hit wicket.
Hit wicket, then you're out. So they'd go, here comes Young, and I'd just knock the wicket over, and then I'd walk back.
Cheers, boy.
I'm not standing there with someone throwing that at me.
No. There were points in your career. If you'd done that, you'd have scored more runs.
Yeah. Well, it might have been used the match fixing. One of the two.
Yes.
Well, you've been here before, you've done a lap in the Lassetti in the wet. What was it like this time in the GT86?
The car's amazing.
It's a bit livelier now, isn't it?
It's a lot livelier, and Stig was lovely, just as non-communicative as he was the last time.
Now, who wants to see Will's lap?
Yes, come on.
God.
Let's have a look.
Oh God, oh God.
Right, here we go. Off the line. Could have used a bit more in first gear.
I'm singing my own music. It's really, really
So, the tunes are good, you're singing along. The line's pretty good, using all the circuit. There's a crow. Into Chicago.
That's not so good. That's not so good, William.
Could be maybe a gear lower, a bit bogged down on the exit. Braking hard into Hammerhead. Direction change is quite tricky. Round Hammerhead. Let's have a look at the exit again. Oh no, the gear's probably right.
Yeah! Oh, this is amazing.
Oh, she's using all the track. Coming up to the follow through. Good turning, nice bit of tyre squeal. Now through the tyre wall, look at that. Whoa! Now the technical section. That looks like a good line in, the second to last to me.
Interesting line. But it's a good one.
Using most of the circuit now through Gambon.
Yeah.
Well, I can see you eyeing the board up. Where would you like to be? Obviously top, but...
I think I'd like to be above Gregory Porter.
Gregory Post on mid-table?
Yeah, but I want to be number 1, but I'm not. So.
I can tell you're not number 1. Sorry for giving the game away.
Oh.
I can tell you, Will Young, you went round our track in 1 minute. 42.7. So you're just above. You got it?
All gone wrong. That's a good effort, come on. Alright. You don't seem best pleased. Are you coming back for another go?
I'm going to watch that at home and cry a little bit.
No, you're not.
No.
Okay.
It's amazing. Hey, listen, I just love cars so much, and I genuinely mean this. I'm such a fan of this show, so to be able to come back and just talk cars and have a laugh I do it every day. So thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Thank you, Will. Thank you. Okay. Right, yeah.
Time for you two to finally be amused.
Okay. This series, alright?
Here we have the regulations for a Formula One car this year. Look at that. Look at the size of that. You hold on to that.
Thanks.
And that is why all Formula One cars basically look the same and the action's a bit boring.
And this slim document here is the rulebook for Formula One in 1978. Wow. When Formula One cars were proper. The 70s. The era when F1 cars went totally and utterly bonkers. It was the era that bought us a six-wheel Tyrrell, a Brabham with an onboard fan. But there's one car, more than any other in history, that totally rewrote the rulebook. The Lotus 79. They called it Black Beauty. Not only is it one of the best looking F1 cars ever made, but it definitely has the best ever paint job. It's also quite possibly the most revolutionary F1 car of all time. The story begins here at Ketteringham Hall in deepest Norfolk. In the 70s, this was the fortress for one of the greatest minds in F1 history, Lotus founder.
Colin Chapman was the most amazing person to work for. I mean, it's the most exciting period of my life. I worked with him on pleasure boats, racing boats, road cars, racing cars, aeroplanes, and even, believe it or not, flying saucers. And it was never, ever dull.
But Chapman's true passion was Formula One and putting Lotus on the top step of the podium.
In 1974, after a number of years of not being very competitive, Colin Chapman wanted to completely look at the Grand Prix car as a whole and redefine it.
Chapman's aim? To cheat aerodynamics. You see, in racing, you can have straight line speed or grip in the corners. One or the other. That's physics. But Chapman wanted both. He wanted to hack physics. So what he did was, he packed off Peter Rice and his team to Imperial College in London for as long as they needed, with some models, a load of tape, a load of clay, and said, come back with some results. And here are those models that were taken to the wind tunnels. Look at them. For months, Wright's team experimented in the wind tunnel without success. But after more than 1,400 hours of testing, they chanced upon something extraordinary.
Due to the forces that the air put on the model, we noticed that the side pods were sagging during the run, and that the gap between the outer edge of the side pod and the road was changing. So we went, okay, what happens if we fix that gap and we put card skirts on that ran about 0.5 millimetre away from the moving road? And we had a big eureka moment.
What they discovered was ground effect. Funneling the air under the car caused it to speed up, creating a vacuum, sucking the car to the track. Lotus calculated it was worth 2 seconds a lap. That's a lifetime in motorsport. Ground effect really was the golden ticket. It gave you more straight line speed and it gave you more grip. The only problem was that ground effect required a perfect seal between the skirts on the side of the car and the road beneath. Easy enough in a wind tunnel, rather trickier out on the tarmac. With no computer modelling, Lotus went low-fi. The engineers, they commandeered one of the company's Renault Ford delivery vans, bolted a metal rig to the back, and then attached to that some different skirt arrangements. Then they'd barrel round the test track,
My stomach in the back of the van, my head sticking out of the rear doors, and watch what was happening. The chief mechanic drove this thing as hard as he could round Hethel test track. And of course, being a Renault 4, it rolled a lot and it pitched a lot and it bounced a lot, which was perfect for testing the skirts. And that was a very key piece of R&D equipment.
After testing skirts made from plastic, bits of draft excluder, even brushes, Lotus eventually settled on these spring-loaded strips of aluminium coated with ceramic tips. They provided a perfect seal down the side, and they were tough enough to last hundreds of miles of racing. So Lotus now had its ground effect racing car. Now all it needed was some drivers. And boy did it have them. On one side of the garage was Marion
Andretti. The Italian-American racer had grafted his way up through the USA's Dirt Track Series to win the Indy 500 before Colin Chapman lured him into F1.
What I loved about Colin is the fact that he just wanted to win. He just wanted to win. And that's who you want to be with, you know. You were with him when he was really right on. And I was, in a period that you had a chance of pulling off a championship.
On the other side of the Lotus garage was Swedish racer Ronnie Peterson. Softly spoken off track, but utterly fearless on it, Peterson's caution-to-the-wind racing style had already earned him a handful of F1 wins and the nickname Super Swede.
Ronnie Peterson was absolutely a tough competitor. I mean, he was well known for his talent, car control and everything, and the nicest guy in the world. You know, we were really good friends. What a guy, what a guy.
May 1978, the Belgian Grand Prix, the 79's first race outing, and it was Andretti who got first dibs on the new car. Andretti immediately stuck it on pole, qualifying streets ahead of Carlos Reutemann's Ferrari. The F1 grid didn't know what had hit it.
The 79 was one of those big steps. You know, it was the sudden 2 seconds a lap change, and it was what was coined as the unfair advantage. It was something the opposition, even once they understood it, they couldn't copy it overnight. So it was just a win-win-win in so many different ways.
For minutes ahead of the closest Ferrari. It was the start of an era of total domination. At the next race in Spain, Andretti won again with Peterson second. The French Grand Prix, same result. In fact, ground effect was so game-changing, so effective, that Lotus sought to throw the competition off the scent.
Type 79 had such an advantage that my father got to the point of thinking, look, we mustn't show them just how fast we can go. So in qualifying at times, extra fuel would be put in to sandbag, slow them down a little bit. But even with that, you couldn't disguise the fact that the 79 was just so much faster than the rest.
As the season unfolded, Andretti won in Germany and the Netherlands, Peterson in Austria. The 79 was head and shoulders ahead of the pack.
You know, ground effect really led to another one of those eras when Team Lotus was just going to win and the others were desperately trying to keep up.
But the others couldn't get close. At the 1978 Italian Grand Prix, having already secured the Constructors' Championship, Lotus could wrap up the driver's title with a couple of races to spare. But things didn't go to plan. Peterson, driving Lotus's older backup car after crashing his 79 in qualifying, was involved in a collision on the first lap. Conscious but suffering leg injuries, he was taken to hospital. Back out on track, Andretti stayed out of trouble, grabbing the points he needed to secure the championship. But the team's celebration was short-lived. The following morning, suddenly and unexpectedly, Ronnie Peterson died from complications following surgery.
The next day on my way to the hospital, I hear on the radio that he died. And I just could not believe it. It was just tragic. It's one of those things that's so hard to accept, for many reasons. And, it just, again, it was tough.
Monza would prove to be the last hurrah for the Lotus 79. As rival teams developed yet faster ground effect cars the following season, Black Beauty would never win another race. No sooner had it conquered the world, the original ground effect. But here's the thing, thanks to classic Team Lotus,
This car, the car in which Mario Andretti won 3 Grand Prix, still drives. And they've said, I can drive it. Possibly the coolest Lotus ever made! So these are the numbers. 470 horsepower and it weighs just over half a ton. It's seriously potent. And behind my head is the iconic F1 engine, the Cosworth DFE 3 litres, singing all the way to 10,000 RPM. It's a thing of joy. Honestly, if you told me that one day I'd get to even sit in this thing, I'd never have believed you. But I'm driving it. But that wasn't all the 79 had to give. Because Lotus said I could drive one lap, just one lap, with the car's revolutionary vacuum-inducing skirts all the way down. Full ground effect mode. Skirts down, the skirts are down, they don't go down very often. Oh, you can feel the downforce even at medium speed. It's so agile. So let's try the fastest corner at Ethel with the skirts down. Accelerating in 3rd, 4th, 5th gear now, skirts down. Turn it in quicker than I had before. There you go. Ground effect. Ground effect.
The 79 gave me everything that I needed. It was a step forward. We were right at the very beginning of something very big.
In technology.
79, it's one of those cars that will always be one of the greatest.
Up to the ground, but F1 don't use it anymore. Why not?
It was banned in 1982 because ground effect was too effective. It effectively created even faster accidents because racing was pushed so hard, so they got rid of it.
Even so, you look like you was having the time of your life. I've never seen you as happy. To be fair, I've never seen you happy, like, but...
All right, working with you two is a strange feeling, I have to say.
Let's end it though before he discovers any other emotions, because that is the end of the series, and it's been brilliant. We've been to the most amazing places: Ethiopia, Borneo, Iceland,
And Telford.
Telford, yes. We've laughed a bit. We've crashed. Well, he's crashed a lot. Honestly, it's been a blast, and we can't wait to do it all again. We'll be back later in the year with a properly massive adventure. Thanks so much for watching. Good night.
We're now running 20 minutes later than planned for the rest of the night on BBC Two. And when it comes to spreading the love, some people are having none of it. Louis Theroux revisits one of his most notorious subjects in Surviving America's Most Hated Family next.